Online, on mobile and on DAB across Stoke-on-Trent and Newcastle-under-Lyme. This is Six Towns Radio.
Gemma Plant, Product Manager at Hanley Economic Building Society. Today is a very exciting day because Hanley Economic have just launched their rent-to-own mortgage. It sounds exciting, but sounding exciting is great. Tell us why it's so exciting and why it's such a great time for you guys at Hanley Economic.
Yeah, I'm really happy with this product that we're launching. It's a really exciting opportunity for us and more importantly for the people of Stoke-on-Trent. This will help people in the local area to get on the property ladder to own their own home, which I think we all know these days is really tough and can be really difficult. We've done a lot of research into this market, and one of the key things is people struggle to save for a deposit, particularly if they're currently renting their property. Household bills, cost of living, all of that sort of stuff. It means that it's really difficult to have much left at the end of each month to save for a deposit. And even if you can, it could take years and years and years till you get to that position. So we wanted to try and bridge that gap and give people the opportunity to own their own home and offer them a 100% mortgage. So basically we'll offer to loan you the full value of the property. And in doing that then you won't need to put down a hefty deposit in order to purchase a house. So that's kind of the headlines. There's obviously a little bit more to it than that. And I think one of the key things that we want to be really clear with is that people may remember 100% mortgages from a few years ago through the financial crisis and things like that and think, oh, are you sure that's the right thing to do? But actually, from what we've learned from that and all of the experience, Hanley Economic's been around for 170 years, we know this local area, we know our local people. And when you look at people and what they're paying in rent every month, as well as managing the rest of their household finances, often renting can be more expensive than paying a mortgage. And it's that issue of not having the deposit that you get stuck in that rental trap.
It feels as well like I currently rent, and it's one of those. We're in a weird time in the world where owning your own home feels like it's a luxury. For some people, it's an unattainable luxury. It's a nice idea, but with the way and the expenses that come with the world, it feels like it's so unattainable. And what you're doing is basically saying to people, especially in this area, no, if you want your own property, if you want to try and find your dream home, let us help you. And that's such an incredible thing to do. And not, it's fair to say banks, building societies don't necessarily get, the best reputation, especially when it comes to mortgages or anything like that. Whereas what you're doing is you're completely flipping it on its head and going, we want to help people. We want people to go and own their own home. It's so exciting. Genuinely, for me, as I said there, I'm renting. I'm going, this sounds great.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that, if you know the local area and you know the people and you can think about what challenges they face, how easy it is for people to get onto the property ladder, and think about where the gaps are. And then think back to when people have, banks, building societies have made mistakes in the past with lending. Actually, it's just about taking it back to basics. Would I trust this person to lend them a big chunk of money? It's the biggest amount of money any of us will ever borrow. I was really lucky. I was able to buy my own house when I was 21, and that has meant such a lot to me. It means such a lot to my young family now, that I would love to think that we can help other people have that same experience. And I think there's something about owning your own home that it gives you that sense of pride. You want to look after your house, and it sets a great example for your kids and everything like that. So I think not only will this product help local people, but it will also help in those local communities to give that sense of pride of, most people are pretty proud to be Stokies around here, and I think owning your own chunk of Stoke-on-Trent is a really special thing.
So let's talk about, we know why it's going to be a good thing. We know why it's an important thing, especially in this area, to give people an opportunity and to give people an opportunity that they deserve. Let's talk about the product. Let's talk about the rent to own. Because we've heard of rent to buy schemes. We've heard of other schemes. I've got questions that there will mean nothing to people watching. I'm just going, I'm now just going, is this for me? And obviously we know from when we spoke before, I have to speak to an advisor, a mortgage advisor. I get that, but
Yep.
you know, you're the product manager. You can give me a little bit of information. What makes it different from a scheme such as the Rent to Buy? And if I come to you, am I looking to buy the house that I'm currently renting? Is the question I want to ask.
Really good question. So the rental aspect of this is more about proving to us as the lender that you have been able to maintain payments at a certain level for a significant period of time. So what we're saying is if you've been renting for 12 months and you've maintained your rental payments as well as your regular household bills, and you can show us evidence of that, we will look to lend you an amount of money to purchase a house that would be equal to, in a mortgage repayment, what you're currently paying in rent. So that's, I guess, one of the key headlines. The other things to think about is we do have to be conscious of income, you know, so it's a factor in that affordability, and we will do a full affordability assessment when you sit down with our mortgage advisor to make sure it's the right thing for you. And I think that's absolutely key. This isn't the right thing for everybody. What we are saying as a sort of a starting criteria is that you would need a combined household income of 25,000. I'd love to say that we could go lower than that, but unfortunately, in terms of measuring that affordability, that's the sensible place for us to sort of draw the line as it stands at the moment. The other thing that we'll be doing is looking at a maximum loan amount. And we've set that in line with what the average property value is in a Stoke-on-Trent area, Stoke-on-Trent postcode. So the maximum we will loan on this is 250,000. But I think when you look at the market, and we've done extensive market research, for the right people in the right circumstances, and there are plenty of them in this city that, you know, they go to work, they work really hard, they earn really decent salaries, and they should be able to get onto the property ladder. It's just that deposit that holds them back. So I guess that's the bit where we're stepping in to help. Where we're different from other schemes is, like I say, the rent is, you don't have to buy the property that you're currently renting. It can be any property as long as it's in an ST postcode. And you can afford the repayments. We'll take you through the full affordability assessment, make sure that, you know, there's nothing in there that you're going to sign yourself up for that's going to cause you any difficulties. We want this to work for customers, so it's important that we do that full and thorough review with everyone. But also we're conscious with this product that these people might not even realise they're looking for a mortgage because they've just, you know, counted themselves out of buying a house. It's not going to be something I can do. So what we want to do with this product is really spread the word. You know, it might not be you that's listening to this today, but it might be someone that you know, friend, family member, that you think, oh, do you know what? They've been renting for ages. They pay all their payments on time. They're really good. They earn a decent salary. They just can't save that deposit. This is potentially the mortgage for them. So come and have a chat. Let's have a look at your situation and see what we can do.
It goes back to what we said at the beginning. It gives people, again, people might not necessarily be thinking about buying because they think it's unattainable. Whereas now it's actually, no, hand the economic ear to actually help and put you on that property ladder and give you the opportunity to go and buy your own home. I said I've got some questions based on my own personal experience, so settle in. This is where the interview goes on now for another hour to make sure I'm going, okay, it sounds great. So my own personal circumstance is I have a family member that owns the house that I'm in. I pay them rent. There is a rent agreement in place.
Yep.
That's obviously very clear to say, or else that would be, you know, all levels of wrong. But there's a rent agreement in place to protect myself, as it would be anyone who's renting a household, as well as a landlord, whether they're family or not.
Yeah.
Does that impact me in terms of looking at this product as somebody who's renting off a family member?
I think the only potential impact there would be that whatever mortgage that you look to borrow from us, the repayments must match what you're currently paying in rental. So if you are getting, you know, a nice discount on your rent, it might mean that you're not going to be able to afford perhaps the house size that you were potentially looking at. But again, that's all down to your circumstances. So it's one of those things that I would say, you know, come and talk to us about it. Let's have a chat. Let's have a look at your circumstances. It takes us a few minutes to run through, you know, the basic criteria that we need to understand. And from that conversation, you'll be better informed to know then whether this is something that you can pursue, or whether actually at this time it's not the right thing. The rental agreement point is really important because obviously that proves that you've been renting, and we'll probably want to see that just to evidence that that's been in place and the rent, you know, that you've been paying each month. But yeah, the most important thing I would say is just come and have a chat. Let's have a look at your circumstances. Everyone's different, you know. It's we've got people that are applying, sole applicants that are on their own, that have seen a property and they want to get on the property ladder. Couples that want to purchase together. Another one is people that have perhaps, you know, had a previous relationship. Things have gone wrong. They've gone into rented. But actually now they're perhaps starting to think about wanting to get back to the property ladder. So it's not necessarily just first-time buyers. This is anyone that's been renting for 12 months that can afford to maintain rent. Come and have a chat with us because we might be able to offer you a mortgage.
Another key thing which you mentioned, it's ST postcode, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's the ST postcode, which again, you know, Hanley Economic, it's in the name, you know,
Yeah.
Hanley, very rooted in this area, very rooted in the potteries.
Yeah.
It is something which is... It can change, and it will change the way people, especially in the potteries, view getting on the property ladder.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's so important for this area that people are proud to own part of Stoke-on-Trent and, you know, be part of that history. It's the 100 years of Stoke-on-Trent being a city this year, which is an exciting time for us as a building society that is local and have been around for all those 100 years and 70 more on top to really show our dedication to this local area and how important it is. And I think that's why initially, and it's not to say that we won't look to extend it, but for the time being, it's really important that this is for the people of Stoke-on-Trent.
For people who are watching or listening, how do they find out more, and how do they really start looking at their options with Hanley Economic?
Yeah, I think if you've got a local branch nearby, you can pop in and see one of our branch advisors. We've been out talking to them about the product for the last few days so that they're all clued up and ready for any questions that anyone's got. They can book an appointment with a mortgage advisor, but you can also access our website, and there's a phone number on the website as well that you can contact us to book an appointment. So loads of different ways. We offer mortgage appointments that can be face-to-face in the branch, but they can also do like video call appointments, so you don't have to be there. We'll work around you, so if you're out at work and things like that, we'll try and get an appointment in that fits into your schedule. You know, sometimes people prefer to do that when the kids have gone to bed and out the way, that sort of thing. So let us know. We'll try and work around you as best we can. But yeah.
You really are doing everything to change the view of how people view banks and building societies at Hanley. We'll just work around you. That's the question. Whatever you're doing, we'll just work. We'll just come shopping with you. We'll just have a chat. It'll be great. It's so good. I'm genuinely. When I found out about this. And when you said this is what's coming up, I was genuinely enthused. I don't get enthused by much. I'm like a sloth.
Especially finances.
Honestly,
it's very
finances.
difficult to get people excited about the finances.
I can't tell you. It scares me. But when you were talking about it, you're like, you know what? This is a fantastic opportunity for everyone across the SD postcode. So thank you so much for popping in. Thank you so much. Best of luck with everything. You're going to be probably one of the busiest people now.
Hopefully,
over the next however many months it is that this goes on.
Yeah.
Gemma, thank you very much for joining me.
No, thank you very much. Thanks.